Welcome back to Breakfast Central, and what you see there on the screen is the early morning hours scene on the third mainland bridge in Lagos, Nigeria, southwest part of Nigeria, the city of aquatic splendor and the major host for Dirty December. We've seen accidents upon accidents in different parts of Lagos, and we also hear different parts of states across Nigeria, usually associated with the Yuletide season due to heavy celebration, late night outing, sometimes even bad roads. But all of these things are things that we're going to discuss this hour, as we would ensure that whatever we talk about concerns you, because your safety matters. There is another footage put out there by a social media videographer who's known for doing great works, actually detailing every traffic congestion in Lagos and the likes. And then the big one that happened over the weekend as well, let's not forget that major one that happened across the Lagos Lokoja Road, which was also a major concern. But let's just go straight to talk about traffic, the Yuletide season, insecurity, roads, danger, and the likes. We have our guest who's joining us live from the Abuja studio. She is the Corps Commander and Head National Traffic Radio, Abuja. We do have Commander Oni Ogunaya, who joins us live. Thank you so much for being here this morning on Breakfast Central.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. We just thought to start the show on that note, showing you a footage that happened this morning here in Lagos. I do understand you are in Abuja as well, but of course I'm sure the directive and the command that comes from the FRSC is pan-Nigeria. Let's start off first with the Yuletide season. Why are there so many accidents here or there, and what could be the major cause of this?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me first of all sympathize and empathize with all the travelers along Lokoja Road. On behalf of the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety, we sympathize with them for what really happened on Saturday. Then talking about traffic and what is happening on the road now, you see that during this particular period, we have a high vehicular movement. You know, everybody wants to travel at the same time. So what we implore road users to do at this particular period is to exercise patience on the road. But what we have seen is that there are so many traffic infractions on the road. You know, everybody wants to go at the same time. And talking about issue of Lokoja, to be precise, you know, in the morning on Saturday, there was a crash. A truck that was loaded with coals dropped its content on the road. Then before you know it, traffic started mounting on the road. Then also in same night, at that same Lokoja Road, we also have another crash, head-on collision between two trucks. So you can just imagine, assuming we didn't have such crashes on the road, I know that traffic wouldn't have happened. But what I would just like to tell people that on the road is that they should exercise patience. Also, the one that we've seen on Lagos Road. You know, at times you wonder, when you get to the front, you'll be wondering what has caused the traffic gridlock. You don't see anything. At times, it's just people that are parking on the road that want to pick a passenger, or just people that are not patient enough. So that's what we see on the road.
All right. You've mentioned some of the issues and the concerns that have been, you know, that lead to the dangers associated with Yuletide travel. How would you say that the FRSC is enforcing, you know, some of these issues, enforcing speed limits, addressing drunk driving across major highways? We know that during the festive season, there's a lot of eating, drinking, and celebration. How would you say that, you know, can you guarantee that, or can you say that there's been an increase in that? And how do you regulate the control of that?
Okay, at this particular period, not even only this particular period, we do a lot of public enlightenment. We do a lot of public education, talking to drivers. We go to churches, we go to mosques, we go to garages, we go to everywhere that we can see people. We do advocacy visits, even to traditional rulers, so that they can speak with their subjects. So we do a lot of public enlightenment. Then also, we also do enforcement. because enlightenment without enforcement is just entertainment. So what we tell people, what we need from them is attitudinal change. Because when we talk to them, we expect them to know that life has no duplicates. And, once life is lost on the road, there's nothing anybody can do about it. But we don't want that one to be happening. So that's why, even as I'm talking now, Corps Marshal and his management team, they're on the road along Kaduna Road to go and monitor what is happening there. So also, there has been massive deployment of all staff to be on all the roads so that to clear obstruction, to have prompt rescue of accident victims, crash victims, because we say there's nothing like accident, it's what is caused. So we try to call it crashes. So we have prompt rescue, people that are on 24 hours duty in order to rescue people promptly. So everything has been deployed, both human and material resources, to make sure that people get to their destination safely.
Now, Commander Ogundaya, I want to ask if the FRSC, what the work hours are for your personnel, because it seems they might be on a 9-to-5 sort of contract, because after a certain time, we don't see them on the roads, we don't see them performing their duties. Is there a time frame for them to work? And what's the FRSC's policy on drinking and driving? Because I've hardly seen them conduct breathalyzer tests. If you go around all the nightclubs in the country, people consume high volumes of alcohol and still operate their cars and move around the city with reckless abandon. It's almost as if there's no law against drinking and driving. Could you speak to those few points, please?
Thank you very much. Talking about our men on the road, actually, when we work from morning till 6 o'clock in the evening, we have to close. We are not harmed, and that is in the night. But at this particular period, even when we are closing by 6, we don't also close because we have the rescue team. They work 24 hours. So that's why we always tell people, in case you are going on the road and you have seen any crash or any obstruction, just call us or dial 122. That's our toll-free number, and immediately we respond to that. So we have men behind the scene working 24 hours. Then talking about the people that are going to nightclubs and the rest, what you can just do to them is to appeal to them. When you know that you want to drink, don't drive. And if you must drink, try to drink water. Then what we do, we have what we call breathalyzers. We also have alcoholizers. That's when we meet them on the road. We make to test them to know maybe they are drunk or maybe they have taken some substances that cannot even allow them to drive on the road. So the best that we are still trying to tell them is attitudinal change. Because if you go and enjoy at the club and you didn't get to your destination, then there is no enjoyment. And that's why we are appealing to people that at this particular period, we don't want the family to be depleted. We know what it means when there's a crash and there's a fatality, just like Commercial have said that, there is no phone call or no enjoyment or no drinking that is worth somebody's life. So we are so particular about the life of everybody. So everybody, please, at this particular Yuletide season, if you know that you want to drink, don't drive.
But for the ones who will not listen to this appeal, what punitive measures are there? Because regardless of what you say and how much you appeal to a number of people, some people will still not, they won't listen. So what punitive measures are there for those who still drink and drive?
Yes, there's punitive measure. We do enforcement. We can stop you and charge you to go and pay so amounts to the government coffers. But what I'm saying, if they pay the money today, what happens tomorrow? So what we are telling them is we need attitudinal change.
But
because
shouldn't they
always afford to pay the money. You can charge them 5,000
or something, as it's done.
You can charge them some.
Because they're putting other road users' lives at risk. And we've seen this has led to so many loss of lives. They run the red light because they're drunk. They don't know how to operate the vehicle. They've killed innocent people that are just going about the business. So your preaching of attitudinal change it doesn't hold a lot of weight in terms of behavior until there's punitive measures and some sort of strong enforcement, because this is a life and death matter, and we've seen this happen so many times.
Also prosecution. There's also prosecution. We prosecute them. We have mobile courts. They get their instant judgments as such mobile courts at this particular period. Even aside from that, we take them to court so that they can just go and be prosecuted if that is exactly what they want. Because lives of the road users are very important to us. And somebody, we always appeal, don't kill somebody and don't let somebody kill you. So it's very important both ways. But for those ones that are very recalcitrant, they didn't want to listen, we prosecute them. At this period, we have mobile courts that will give them instant judgments.
All right, Commander Oni, my question goes like this. What happens to the likes of, in Lagos, it's called Korope. I'm sure you know about Korope, right?
Yes.
Okay, because, I mean, you're in Abuja, so we just want to ensure that the language definition is the same. We've noticed that when it comes to Korope, when it comes to the big trucks, we don't want to call the brand names, but the big trucks, and when it comes to the downfall drivers, it seems like the FRSC oftentimes turns a different eye. Not just the FRSC, we've also seen other
state traffic enforcement agencies.
Yeah, they also turn. So why is it that they don't pay attention to these ones and handle them? We've seen brake failures many times where has led to death. Before you answer that question, I want you to think on it, let it marinate for a bit. We'll go on a break. When we come back, we'd like to hear your answer. Welcome back. You're watching Breakfast Central, and our guest here is Corps Commander, Head, National Traffic Radio, Abuja. We do have Commander Oni Ogundayo from the FRSC. She joins us live from the Abuja studio. Before the break, we'll ask the question, and the question is, why does the FRSC turn a blind eye, as it were, to the likes of Korope, the truck drivers, downfall, and so on and so forth?
Okay. Thank you very much. What I would just like to correct that impression, we don't do selective operations on the road, because lives of those people inside the Korope and the buses alike, and the trucks matters a lot to us. So we can do enforcement on all vehicles on the road. There is no selective enforcement. But what happened is that, for example, if you have stopped somebody and you are talking to that person and you see another person, passing you by, maybe the person has committed another infraction on the road, you cannot leave the person you are speaking with and run after those people. So it's everybody. It's only one at a time. So we get there. It's not that we are, because I've also had this before to say, okay, maybe we concentrate on only commercial vehicles. No, a bus will carry at least about 18 passengers, while a small car will carry just 4 passengers. So there's no selective enforcement on the road. We arrest everybody that have committed any traffic infraction on the road.
So, I mean, while you say there's no selective enforcement, oftentimes part of the criticism leveled against the FRSC is number of young people complain about how flashy cars are being stopped and searched and how regular cars are being left to go. But beyond that, part of the complaint we've also seen is an increase in stop and search points during this festive season. In some cases, we have even multiple agencies checking. So there's FRSC, 2 minutes from where FRSC has checked you. There's VIO, 2 minutes from there, the Nigerian police. So it feels like there are multiple checkpoints. Who is the authority, the ground authority, that has been bestowed with the authority to check for your particulars, your car particulars, your driving particulars, and to ensure that they are up to date on the roads? And why do we have a multiplicity of checkpoints? On one road, you can see like 4.
Thank you very much. All those sister agencies on the road, they have their functions. But I would like to talk about FRSC functions on the road. Our mandate is to save lives on the road, to clear obstructions. And you can see that the feasibility is very high. When you go on the road, you see FRSC officials, at a point, because seeing them alone seeing them in uniform, it sends a signal to road users to say, oh, these people are on the road, let me drive safely. So our mandate is very clear, and all other sister agencies, they also have their mandates. Now, talking about checking of vehicle particulars, what the first thing that makes you to drive on the road is your driver's license. So we can stop you on the road, because we have seen cases whereby we have underage drivers. So if we have seen that somebody is underage, so we stop that person. Because driving is not for just anybody, it's for the matured minds. And you must be 18 and above before you can drive a car. Whereas you must be 26 and above before you can drive maybe an articulated vehicle. So talking about stopping flashy cars, you just mentioned it, that people that are coming from the club, we know that, some people, not everybody, some people, they have this youthful exuberance on the road, maybe because their parents have all these flashy cars, they want to go and enjoy with friends, they want to go and drink, they want to go and do so many things. So we need to stop them, to ask them one or two questions. We need to know that they are all right. And it's not only about flashy cars. We can stop anybody, any car. Just like I've said, it's not about selective enforcement on the road. We stop all vehicles that we have suspected that might have committed an infraction or about to commit one. So we can stop anybody.
How is it obvious, for example, in a vehicle that there's a suspicion of an attempt to commit an infraction if the vehicle looks okay on the outside? Because honestly, sometimes I know that this power to stop and search, you have the power to stop and search, but one just wonders what the modalities are and what should be taken into consideration. Also, procedures for stop and search, and when they ask for your driver's license. Is it okay, if you do not have your physical driver's license at the moment, to show them a digital copy of your driver's license? Shouldn't that suffice?
Okay, if I understand your question, you're asking about maybe what we see before we can stop a vehicle. There's something that we call primary offenses. Yes, we can cite primary offenses. We can use it to stop your vehicle. Those are the things that we can easily see outside. You may not know them, but we know them, the one we call primary offense, those infractions that we can easily see with your vehicle. Then at times, it's not only every vehicle that has been stopped that is going to be arrested. Some, you stop them probably to even ask them, because after driving for a long time, for a long journey, somebody needs to rest. At times, you can just stop a vehicle to ask, please, where are you coming from? How long have you been driving? Then that person can say, maybe I've been driving for the past 3 hours. We can just ask the person, can you just come down, stretch your leg at a safe place? You understand? Or some people that are making phone calls now, or some people that doesn't have side mirror, wipers, those ones we can see clearly. But at times, you need to stop to ask somebody, maybe the person is having fire extinguisher inside the vehicle.
Okay,
let's
sorry,
talk about,
there was a second part to the question that I asked about showing the digital copy of your driver's license.
Okay, driver's license is what makes you to qualify to drive on the road. It's just like your certificates. So in case you have committed an infraction, traffic infraction on the road, we want to see your original copy of the license, because we take that one in lieu of your vehicle. But if you see the digital one and you have not committed any traffic offense, yes, it suffices. But if you have committed an infraction, and instead of taking your vehicle from you, we can take the driver's license from you, the original.
Okay. Before I go to my next question, just want to tell our viewers, especially Lagosians, that they should drive really carefully this period and not damage any government property. There was an accident that happened, and an individual hit an electricity pole. This newly installed poles, and Lagos State Electricity Board did send an invoice. The cost of all-in-one solar fitting, 2.2 million, galvanized pole, 794,000, rental of Hayab, and all of that. The total breakdown was 5.7 million. So if you're drinking and driving and you're being irresponsible and you hit a government pole, just know that you should have your 5.7 million ready to pay the Lagos State Electricity Board. Now, to my question, we often see drivers this period, they take all sorts of performance enhancing drinks. They think they can go, or energy drinks. They want to go as many rounds as possible to make all the money they can make in one day. So they don't get enough rest. And that's a danger to other road users. Are there any mechanisms that the FRSC uses to monitor and ensure that drivers get enough rest? And also the fact that they don't sell alcoholic beverages in garages and public parks, because oftentimes these drivers, I don't know where they get their orientation from. They say it's these things that they drink. It no go make me sleep. It make me strong. That's what they claim.
Yes, thank you very much. We collaborate with the leadership of all these motor parks. We engage them, advocacy visits, we talk to them, and some of them have assured us that they have spoken with their men. And just like I said earlier, only the living celebrates. You must be alive to spend the money that you are looking for. Because we've seen cases whereby, we rescued some people, but unfortunately some people died in that particular crash, and we saw millions of naira on their body. That money now belongs to another person. It's so sad. So please, if you are looking for money, please make sure that you are alive to spend that money. And don't let another person take care of your children for you. You must be alive to take care of your children and your family. So that's what we encourage them. That's why I'm talking about attitudinal change. Then talking about the drinks. At times, they don't sell the drinks. We've made sure that, all those motor parks, they don't sell the drinks. All those things that used to make them feel high and whatever. And some people, they will say, let me just take one for the road. Which road? Because when you've taken all these substances, you cannot even see very well. Your vision is impaired, and so many other things happened. You will see a trailer, you'll be thinking maybe it's a small vehicle. So we are still appealing to them. We need attitudinal change. You must do the right thing on the road. Obey the traffic rules and regulations. Don't let somebody kill you, because at times the person that is even wrong will be the person to be alive. And we also tell people, don't claim rights on the road. We have a cliche in FRSC. When we get to a crash scene, we don't ask who is right again. We ask who is left, so that we can quickly rescue those people to the hospital.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. All the best with executing your duties.
And we wish you a Merry Christmas. We're also looking forward to the FRSC Carol. The Nigerian police did have theirs last Friday. So we're looking forward to hearing you and other corps members sing.
Thank you.
Yeah.